Plenty of good ultis to steal from the side of TSM. And with Broken Blade on that 5th pick, Lucian here yet again, this TSM squad is the same thing that it was in game number 1, with the one change being Graves is banned away. Evelynn is now the pick in the jungle.
And so far as we've seen this series, the early game advantage has meant so much. Both teams been able to snowball. Both teams have been able to get their victories off of those types of plays. They are very difficult at keeping up because you cannot make mistakes to let it over. But I cannot blame TSM for going back to this strategy once again. Their successful strategy, like you said, this is extremely similar, except with the little wrinkle here of having Evelynn throws a lot more caution into how Cloud9 want to play their lanes. Because as soon as Evelynn can get to level 6, and it's generally recommended to have a full clear for your first clear for Evelynn, so you can try and get to 6 as quickly as possible, then the opponent lanes that are set up already in detrimental lanes with the really good setups here for TSM are going to also have to play defensively until you see Evelynn on a Rek'Sai ping or on a control ward.
This should be a pretty fun jungle matchup to keep track of, as Blaber has to use the Rek'Sai to try to constantly keep tabs on this invisible threat of Spica's Evelynn. Also,
Hello Blades or Conqueror? Which one is it, Flowers?
Let's see. Hold on. We got to watch our dramatic intro here first.
My personal favorite for Rek'Sai is the Hail of Blades. It's super early game oriented, but it's a super early game oriented champion. Rek'Sai needs to get a lot done in the frequent early skirmishes to provide a lot of use to the team. Doesn't scale that well. Does scale a little bit better if you max your E second after putting just 2 or 3 points in your Q. Generally, you're going to want to put at least 3 points in your Q for clear speed, and then try and max your E for better tunnel usage to get in and out of fights. But it is the Conqueror. That is the better scaling version of the Rek'Sai, being able to stack up for your true damage later. Let's see about the level 1s, though, Flowers. We'll talk about runes after there's danger has passed.
TSM, 4 grouped up here in the river. We'll see a ward there placed down by Cloud9. Nisqy's not going to walk close enough to those guys. Important to point out, the 3 healing shrines placed down by Vulcan in the solo lane behind Nisqy. Yes, this lowers Bard's level 1 combat potential a little bit in his own lane, but each one of those shrines, if given time to mature to maximum, is going to give a pretty significant amount of healing. All 3 shrines put together will give Nisqy a very nice edge here in this lane going up against Bjergsen's Twisted Fate, especially in that early melee versus ranged matchup. It'll help keep him topped off. You can see him just stepping back, picking up one of those health packs right now, playing it like it's ARAM.
And look at the jungle. Looking at the mini-map here, tracking the invade from TSM, because Cloud9 also put a ward on the red buff, Spica does not continue and trade top side for bottom side. He just takes away the Raptors. He then walked through mid lane, doesn't care that he goes over vision, to get to his red side and cut off Blaber from splitting the map and putting pressure on Broken Blade. He doesn't want to let him get behind Broken Blade. So the defensive ward in the river for himself and on the ramp there should try and accelerate this, but Blaber's headed right over level 3 to get behind him anyway.
Oh, here we go. Licorice already using the flash, starting things off here against Broken Blade. Blaber still looking for the way to get involved in the fight, but the turret shot will nearly kill Broken Blade itself. He's trying to get away, but he has to run into the Cloud9 jungle. Broken Blade has already used his flash. Nisqy with the flash to make sure the first blood. Blaber says, thanks, buddy, I'll take that. And it's first blood for the C9 jungle.
So, with this setup, from home, we are not in the game, so I can't see the in-game chat, but I can hear the noise. After that kill, I just heard 3 chat box noises go off, and I can only imagine what went on for Cloud9 with Blaber getting that kill. But here's Broken Blade. He flashes away. He's thinking, maybe I could make it all the way deep into Cloud9 territory to try and go for an execute, but Nisqy started roaming over early, and because there's a blast cone there still, he's able to get in range to flash for it. Praise Seeker, though, for Blaber means jungle money.
Jungle money on this champion that you already said needs to get off to a very early good start here, as Spica tries to steal away the chickens for the second time. It will be a smite fight over the big chicken. Blaber with the smite makes it happen. Vulcan moving up. Nice! stun on to 2 from TSM, but the cavalry has arrived, and Spica's able to find the kill onto the Cloud9 support. Blaber with the tunnel over the wall. Nisqy gets one onto Spica. He's got the double buffs on himself, but now he's in a real danger of dying off here. Tries to turn around and fight there with the Kingslayer. Blaber not able to make it back into the fight here in time. Goes for a little bit of damage down to Biofrost. Won't quite be able to find it. DoubleLift's heal barely keeps him alive, and TSM will take over that fight.
TSM remain on the attack, Captain Flowers, re-invading on the Raptors the second time around. And keep your eyes on the mini-map. As you go for the invade, it's all about the roams. We mentioned Bard, and that being a game changer for Cloud9. Vulcan can get there first because of the magical journey and gets the flash with the stun in there. But that doesn't mean that Cloud9 don't roam up. They still send Biofrost. It takes him longer to get there, but he still arrives with the Rakan and the Guardian Shield for the extra stun to get them the extra kill here. Then blocking for the Twisted Fate. My goodness, he got so incredibly low.
Here we go again. Blaber making another return visit to the top side, trying to keep Broken Blade under control. You can see the big farm advantage he's already built over Licorice in this matchup that in Game 1 we discussed was so difficult. TSM still with a 1,000 gold lead, though, even though the kills are even in this one.
That's why they pick Rek'Sai, though. Rek'Sai, one of the champions that is best situated to gank top lane. Because of the length of your tunnels from E and the fact that it doesn't cost your CC ability to use your dash ability. A lot of the other champions in the game for jungle, if you dash forward and try and get a crazy gank angle off to get around vision, you'll have to use your CC ability also. But Rek'Sai can stay tunneled in and then still have the unburrow to get off behind the Lucian. Now Blaber, though, walks into TSM territory. They stake their TSM flag in this red quadrant of the jungle. They will not let it go. It's another roam from Biofrost here to accelerate the counter jungling from Spica and this Evelynn. Pre-6, this Evelynn is just all over the map in all of these skirmishes. That would not be possible pre-Q buff on that cooldown reduction for the Q for Evelynn. TSM are just keeping up the pressure on Cloud9, and it's crazy to see if you think about where these teams came from Summer, with Cloud9 dominating the LCS previously in that style. If you remember, Captain Flowers, they started out this year
9-0.
Well, never mind. Let's wait for this. We'll get to the stat. Okay. It's stat time. He's not dead. They started out the year with spring and the first half of summer combining for 35-2 as Cloud9's game record. Off of just smashing teams early, snowballing those leads, fastest game time, highest combined kills per minute for their games. But it seems like those dream glory days have been put behind as so many of the teams in the LCS have decided to throw down with Cloud9 in the early stages, especially. In this game, no different.
And for Cloud9, man, to go from 35-2 to now being a single best-of-5 away from either making Worlds or having your entire season end right here. Remember, there's no more Gauntlet. The Gauntlet gods don't get a chance to ascend to their throne. This is as close to a Gauntlet as you're going to get here in the lower bracket of playoffs with this new format. So C9 really have to show up here, but damn if TSM and particularly Spica aren't trying to make it so difficult for them this game. These constant invades, the constant pressure on the Rek'Sai, the Evelynn completely unafraid of this champion. However, now that Spica is level 6, the Demon Shade is active, which means he will have to be more aware of where Rek'Sai is to make sure he's not accidentally seen when he thinks he's invisible. Blaber's still only level 5 here. Both junglers do have jungle items completed, but it is a 20 farm advantage for Spica.
All right. The stolen Twisted Fate ultimate from Nisqy used to get back the lane. He just stole it with the ult before he went for his recall, so he can basically get an extra teleport here. That does mean TSM with a move timer, though, because Bjergsen could shove in the wave. Evelynn's so good at diving.
Here we go. The charm ready to go. Chain CC it together with the gold card, and Spica cashes in before Blaber is able to do anything about it. Spica still has the last caress ready. Remember, not only a powerful execute, but an even more powerful aggro drop. Blaber can't do a damn thing. Broken Blade takes the kill. Spica gets himself away with that ulti I was talking about, and TSM have themselves a 5-3 game and a 2,000 gold lead. Now bottom side, Zven down to 300 HP. Vulcan trying to fight this one here a little bit, but Zven has to keep on running. Vulcan there on the front line, but Cloud9 losing out pretty significantly in this 2v2.
This is the reason why the early game has been such a determining factor for this series. When you can draft and have your pushing lanes get the Evelynn multiple invades before level 6, then it's just a crazy, crazy accelerated Evelynn. You see, Spica is the same level as the Cloud9 solo laner there. You know, Licorice is 7, Spica is also 7 here with the Evelynn. He didn't have to use his ult on the dive, so then he could use it in the next fight through the jungle. Here they're going to try and contest this Rift Herald, though Spica in place. Rek'Sai's above ground, so didn't see him.
Looks like we might have got one Tremor Sense there. Blaber still trying to hang around. We'll be able to secure it. But now with the damage coming out, it's jungler for jungler being traded away. The reinforcements have arrived here for both sides. Flash over the wall. Nisqy continuing to chase after Biofrost. He has the stolen last caress. Give him a kiss on the cheek. See you later, buddy. Nisqy takes that kill. Gets himself up to 3-1-1 here on the Sylas. Now joining Licorice here in the top lane. Going after Broken Blade. Haymaker comes out, looking to find a little bit of damage as well as the shield. Bjergsen still plenty healthy enough to try to provide covering fire for Broken Blade to continue his retreat.
That was a much-needed skirmish win for Cloud9. They pick up the Rift Herald, they kill the Evelynn, and that was all because Licorice did not hesitate. They got the little one single ping on Evelynn, and he just turns and ults her, locks her down immediately. Ult still was on cooldown from the jungle skirmish, so they actually were able to make something happen off this Rift Herald play, and that Rift Herald money is going to be so precious to Cloud9. Chunking out some of these turret plates, they will be able to gain a foothold right back into this one. Here's another look. Just in that brief moment when Blaber goes underground, they get a single ping, and then Licorice, no hesitation, dunks him over to the wall where Vulcan can stun him against the wall, and Evelynn doesn't get to move. So even though more members show up there for TSM, Cloud9, because they coordinate so well, dunking the Evelynn into the wall, into the Bard stun, immediately killing him, they're able to chase down the extra one there and fight their way back into this game. TSM still with a 2,000 gold lead in their hands, as they've been able to keep up the pressure in their lanes with their winning matchups. And Evelynn, she plays off winning lanes so well because when you push enemies under tower, you set them up for those devastating Evelynn tower dives. She can go in, get her full burst combo with double Q spams plus your E, and then still get your R execute, allowing you to drop tower aggro and get to safety.
The tower aggro drop plus execution is just the ideal jungling tool for those dives you're talking about. TSM did already secure themselves first Drake of the game. Second Drake is now live. Spica's in the bottom lane, but Cloud9, unless they have Blaber nearby, have no way of being knowledgeable about that. DoubleLift will step up and make sure he clears away the control ward, so Spica's not revealed by that one. Now that they know that that's taken care of, Spica can move through here. Once again, still completely unknown to C9. They must, however, expect that he's nearby with their opponents starting the Drake up. Spica is going to be nearby to smite this one. Blaber and Vulcan ready to go for it. However, the Drake is going to be secured as Blaber takes the tunnel over the wall. Spica with the last caress just to disengage. TP coming in from Broken Blade. Just a slight mistiming meant TSM was able to grab that Drake before C9 made their move.
Yeah, and Cloud9, I think the plan the entire time for C9 was not fight there. I think the plan the entire time was, okay, we'll go for the steal. You know, if we get it, great. If we don't, you know, we don't. Flash out Blaber. But they still got the ultimate cooldown from Evelynn there when, you know, Spica ults back out, even though they didn't commit their teleport from Licorice, while TSM did commit Broken Blade's teleport. So that was a cooldown win.
I don't think it's going to matter too much here. Licorice is in some serious trouble. Spica with the follow-up, Bjergsen with the kill, and that is easy money in TSM's pockets.
And he gets the push on a tower with exposed plates here. Oh my goodness, dream scenario. They get the kill. Another turret plate here for Broken Blade. Spica's actually hovering to see who's going to come defend this.
And there's almost, look at the timer on the scoreboard, on the Rift Herald that Blaber picked up. That Herald that C9 fought for earlier is about to expire. It's going to be summoned up here in the top lane now by Blaber. They want to try to shepherd this in and make it charge right before those plates expire. Just try to get some sort of value out of it.
20 seconds, Shelly, get it there!
They have Vulcan here, they have Blaber here. They need to get Shelly in range. Shelly, stop skipping leg day, get over there!
She's there, plenty of time to spare. They cash in all the turret plates, plus the tower bonus for themselves. That is first tower to boot Captain Flowers, as Cloud9 are able to make that objective work.
Yeah, the timer was running pretty low, but they made it happen by bringing Vulcan up there, gave them the extra manpower they need to make sure Shelly was shoved up, got the extra plate money and the turret down. Cloud9 closing this game down to a 1,000 gold gap, but TSM still commands the lead. Honestly, 12 kills between the teams at 14 minutes is pretty bloody by LCS standards.
And I think it should remain bloody because TSM want to play a very bloody, spread the map style so that Spica has just a playground to work with on Summoner's Rift. And while they did lose out some return gold on the top side of the map to Cloud9, which is going to fund their war efforts here for the next Dragon fight, TSM still hold the 2-Dragon lead over Cloud9. So they want to try and push out on the side lanes and open up opportunities for Twisted Fate and Evelynn to be able to pick people off before setting up, for the possible Dragon here. Meanwhile, Cloud9, they need some big plays here. Probably started out from Vulcan's Bard. Tempered Fate is going to be one of the big tools that Cloud9 actually can use to turn this style around on TSM. If you can land that, the setup is so big.
That Tempered Fate can make or break any kind of a game, but especially a game like this, man, where it's like the tool. Oh, there's just all the weight of the world on Vulcan's shoulders here in this game. Game number 2, his Tahm Kench performance was exactly what C9 needed to make sure they got the win. And here in game number 3, they have so much faith in him on this Bard. TSM with about a minute and a half to go until that 3rd Dragon is alive. Spica also still prowling around here on the Evelynn. 119 farm, more than both top laners. There has been so much of a mess around the top lane. Both of the top laners' farms, is around solo queue level. It's pretty bad. 105 versus 96 is just not what you expect in a professional game. So neither one of these two are at the mark that you would expect them to be at. DoubleLift trying to retreat away from Zven, but with Blaber and Nisqy both showing up, I don't think DoubleLift is going to be going anywhere except back home to the fountain. Money in Cloud9's pockets. It's 4-1 now for Nisqy in this game on the Sylas. Might just be the man who has to carry here in these team plays.
And just again, like game number 1, yes, TSM, DoubleLift gets picked off on top side. Cloud9, good job on attacking one of the pressure points. You see the other 2 pressure points gaining some tower damage. Bottom side actually died. There's the Tempered Fate.
Tempered Fate onto Bjergsen. Licorice goes for the face breaker immediately thereafter, but now TSM are looking to save their mid lane if they can. Biofrost with some nice CC coming through. Nisqy barely going to be kept alive. Vulcan and Zven still looking for a little bit more. Broken Blade with the culling over the wall. Everybody from both teams walks away alive.
I honestly thought for sure Bjergsen was going to have to blow his stopwatch, but they get him out without even having to use that cooldown. Flashes out in the end, and TSM are able to save their mid laner from the C9 attempt here. Plus, Broken Blade pushed that minion wave all the way into the bottom tower. Okay, Biofrost slips his way out. Yeah, he's getting a little frisky.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you have to just kind of sit on a knife's edge and be like, oh, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? But TSM have a level 11 Evelynn now. Critically, that level 2 ultimate will make a big difference in any upcoming fights. But considering it's down, that means that it's very risky for Spica to go in. If Evelynn ever does get herself in a fair fight, she loses almost all of them, unless she's already just egregiously overfed. So she always has to take advantage of flanks, use the ultimate to drop aggro, get out of a fight, sort of reset a little bit. So TSM does not want to contest this 3rd Drake. That means that Cloud9 is able to stop their soul stacking, bring this up to a 1 and 2 Drake game. Still 2,000 gold separating the 2 teams here. And this one's staying pretty close as we just press the 18-minute mark.
Yeah, and honestly, usually you get to games too where you're like, okay, the Ezreal now, 2-item power spike, you're right where you want them. This is where you really take off. Death Stance comes next. You get the Caulfield's Warhammer for more cooldown reduction and can really start to carry. But those are also usually games where you think the opponents will have a difficult time gaining access to your backline, to the Ezreal. In a game like this, where you are facing an Evelynn and a Twisted Fate and a Rakan, all champions known for extremely quick access to the backline and assassinations. Well, here we see an attempt that forces a flash.
Yeah, Licorice had to flash away there, or he is 100% dead. Spica and Bjergsen both coming down there with Broken Blade, also within range to quickly apply a culling if need be. Blaber going after the second Rift Herald here, as TSM should be able to take down that tier 2 in the bottom lane. No contest. There you go. 3-1 on the turret count now brings the TSM lead up to almost 3,000 gold.
Ooh, Licorice actually going to keep the wave in front of his tower as long as possible, trying to deny some minions there. Because top side of the map, good job observers, there's always a give and take. And the arguments for not holding waves and trying to deny minions is always, okay, your opponents are going to overload the other side of the map, get objectives there. But since we just saw Rift Herald picked up by his team on that side of the map, there is nothing for TSM to overload on this side. They can't really send their resources somewhere more effective. And so he can try and just deny some of the minions there at the tower while his team picks up the Rift Herald and holds down the other side. You basically just try and play defense up there until TSM shove it back to you.
And look at this gold graph on the left side of the screen here, really showcasing where those advantages are built for TSM. Bjergsen with a 1,300 gold lead over his counterpart, which is the next closest person in the game to him in gold. And it's actually Spica who has 1,000 gold more than even the top laner of Cloud9, going back to what I was talking about with these farm levels of the top laners being solo queue level. Well, when Spica's got more than either top laner still, also Rabadon's death cap now completed as his second item. Before he even upgrades boots, he's got the free magical footwear from the rune, a runic echoes and a Rabadon's death cap. This man has one mission, and that's to make sure that whoever he combos dies.
Yep. Ideally, getting his hands towards the back line would work, but Licorice will do if he can touch.
There it is. Licorice eats a lot of damage. More coming through. DoubleLift helping from a long way away. And the last caress, one last breath for Licorice. And he is gone. TSM pushing into the base now, looking for damage onto the tier 3 turret. Where's Cloud9? They're nowhere nearby. It's TSM that have control over this area for now. Turret destroyed. And that is just such a problem here for the side of Cloud9, trying to rotate around, always having people picked off. The tier 3 still stands, but it's still 4 turrets now taken down by TSM with that mid lane turret falling. It's such a problem to deal with this Evelynn. Look at the inventory on Licorice. You've got a hoodie, you've got a special armor shirt, you got a lid to a bucket, some old shoes, and a pirate sword. None of this is going to manage to carry a game on its own. He went down to the thrift store, walked down each aisle, picked one item from each one, put them in his shopping cart, and walked home. No completed items at 21 minutes into the game, man. This is difficult.
Well, all right, he's got the lid to the bucket, but he has no bucket to put
there's no bucket
the game in to carry.
The lid for?
Crap. Forgot the bucket. Okay. Honestly, your point really does stand, and if we widen the conversation to TSM throughout the season and what the biggest differences have been from then until now within playoffs, within these improvements, is their handling of this mid-game scenario. Now, again, they set up with a lot of early game leads in the regular season and fumbled them in the mid-game. But, well, let's see if Biofrost fumbles anything right now. Rift Herald activated by Cloud9 as they try and push. In this game, though, and in this series, TSM have done so good in the mid-game to continue to assassinate members of Cloud9, but here we go on Spica.
Nisqy looking for the play. A pick onto Spica is exactly what they would need to have a fight they can win. Spica getting himself away, but Blaber's able to pursue him using the ulti, chasing him down, grabbing the kill. TSM now going to lose their top laner as well. Broken Blade is off the map. DoubleLift under pressure. Double kill over to Zven. Mid lane turret also erased. Shelly still alive. A second charge could happen. C9 doesn't care. The call is the Baron.
Cloud9, what a play! Nisqy steals away the Twisted Fate ultimate, and they use their greatest strength against them, Captain Flowers. Oh my goodness, Nisqy steals Bjergsen's ultimate. They take down that Evelynn. They take down the pesky damage dealers. DoubleLift, Broken Blade, Spica, all in the graveyard, and Cloud9 will be wearing purple.
What a change of pace here in game number 3. All it takes, one time being caught out, one time where the enemy team has just enough damage to kill you despite the ulti there on the Eve. and Cloud9 immediately bites back. The gold is tied up here in the game. Item completed for the Sett. Licorice has some real deal stuff in the tank now. Let's take another look at how this play happened.
Look at this go button. Nisqy steals a Twisted Fate ultimate, and they catch Spica looking for the flank. He just absolutely annihilates him. Then with the Rakan trying to get the follow-up here, all of the extra CC was used, and Blaber is open to finish the execution with that ultimate. What a play. Honestly, Nisqy starting it off, getting the big chunk, getting the Evelynn ult down, and then Blaber with the mark on him can finish it off. Really well coordinated by Cloud9 in a power move in the mid game to throw this one right back in TSM's face. Baron buff will mean they march on the inhibs.
Yeah, now the important thing to notice, during the replay, TSM was able to take their third Drake of the game. That means they are one single Drake away from the Ocean Soul. Very, very important to keep track of that moving forward. Cloud9 has to make sure they don't fumble a minute before a dragon is about to spawn. Give TSM the chance to just force that soul point, force the fact that they now will get a huge buff if they get even one more of those. But with mid lane inhibitor down, things are looking good here for Cloud9.
Whoa, yeah, they really needed that. What a big power move from Cloud9. Now they can get their Baron-empowered reset off. They also didn't take the bait with the bottom push. You can see on the minimap, you know, the Lucian split pushing there with Spica hovering him. That has to be something that you keep in mind the entire game. So dangerous to go after those split pushers, and why Evelynn works so well in those types of drafts.
So much on the line here in game number 3 with this series already tied up at 1-1. Anybody could still win this one. Less than 1,000 gold separates the teams. Zven with that QSS to get out of any CC that might show up. And when we're talking about CC, look at Bjergsen. 7 out of 8 kill participation here on this Twisted Fate. 4-0-3, yet to die. Medjai's Soul Stealer for all the confidence in the world. Rapid fire cannon so we can get those very long range gold cards. The pick potential is real here for TSM. But C9 also have a lot of ability to punish if TSM goes in an uncoordinated or slightly sloppy manner. Also look at the Evelynn. After Sorcerer's Shoes are completed, Null Magic Mantle, the next item in inventory. So not any more direct kill power coming out here just yet. Zven with the Arcane Shift ready to go, expecting some sort of trouble out of that brush. Bard ulti's not going to find anyone there, so that big engage mechanism is down on the side of Cloud9. Spica hanging out over the wall. Yes, he's on top of a ward. No, it doesn't matter. His name is Evelynn. Redemption called down, keeping Cloud9 nice and healthy. Blaber looking for a little bit of something here. Biofrost getting himself back away. Nisqy going golden. TSM on the retreat. Bottom lane tier 2 turret falls. TSM backing away. Cloud9 will take the objective and back off.
And in that, you see the importance that C9 put on protecting their flanks. They know that there are so many ways in for TSM. If a Rakan Evelynn combination ever gets to your back line, a Senna ult comes down over the top. Bjergsen can go in with Twisted Fate ultimate. They can annihilate your damage dealers. And yet C9 do such a good job of protecting themselves here. Licorice with the kind of garage sale that you talked about did go for the full adaptive helm as his first item. I like the completion of your first defensive item. Now he's looking to complete his Blade of the Ruin King though. There are no like health stacking tanks on the opponent's side, so it doesn't have a lot of the on hit damage. But the active's definitely decent. I personally would have liked to see him on like more full tank going that way, because Cloud9 have plenty of damage, but still serviceable here. Meanwhile, your Sylas scales so incredibly well. Nisqy is almost level 16 now for max rank ultimate Sylas.
Oh, scary.
And man, the buffs that were aimed at Sylas 4 or 5 patches ago were about scaling stats for him as well. So he's in a very good spot to really run this Cloud9 comeback home for Nisqy. You need to continue to watch out for his steals on the Bjergsen ultimate. Twisted Fate being a very good surprise factor if you can pop that and find the flanks that TSM are trying to enact while they're trying to get into position for them. They can have a really good counter engage.
Also, very important item completion a little under a minute ago. Death's Dance done for Zven. Not only does this item provide a plethora of stats that you want on just this champion in general, but the ability to make it so you don't take as much upfront burst, very effective and very well could be the difference between dying and staying alive against the burst that can come out from the likes of Bjergsen and Spica. Now, Cloud9 control this Dragon Pit for now. Remember what I mentioned earlier. This is Soul.
We're going for it.
TSM get it. The teleport's coming in. Licorice and Vulcan looking for the chance to go in. There they go. Licorice in the middle, using the Haymaker, keeping himself alive. Spica looking to get away, but the damage comes through, and Nisqy will use the last caress onto Spica. A stolen ult to take him down, as Nisqy is now in the front line here yet again, trying to kite away, but Bjergsen deals him a losing hand. Licorice tries to fall back now as well, but TSM have a 4v3 and a path to the Ocean Drake.
TSM, what kiting there? Bjergsen stunned.
Oh, Bjergsen is going right back into the fight. He is not done yet. Vulcan barely getting himself out. Zven, the only damage dealer here left alive. TSM making it happen. Bjergsen yet again. This man does not stop for TSM.
And that is going to be Soul unless there is a miracle from Blaber. He doesn't even have Smite. It would have to be a Prey Seeker over the back of the wall.
No way.
Biofrost is on guard.
No way.
Making sure nothing can get inside the pit, and TSM will claim the Ocean Soul. Wow, if you watch these fights too, they have definitely practiced these full damage compositions. Look at the kiting, even after the opening here. So Cloud9, they get the dunk in there from Licorice. The Bard ultimate actually on the Rakan, not the best, that kind of delayed there, but we see the power of the Sylas when he goes back in. Nisqy, they do get the first kill onto Evelynn, but then the snare. Senna snare lands, and all the ranged champions can focus fire here. Broken Blade dashes to the side. TSM pick up the extra kill. DoubleLift landing the slow there as well, but Bjergsen flashing in for that gold card with the extra range, chasing down the kills and forcing the extra one here for TSM. Cloud9 may have made that big mid-game comeback to get Baron from themselves, but TSM now wearing Ocean Soul. C9 not done, though. They're starting it up again, Clayton.
Bjergsen is just such a damn good League of Legends player, man. TSM staying in this game. They got themselves that Ocean Soul. Cloud9 staying on the Drake. Spica knows he could possibly steal this one away. Cloud9, do you want to try to burn it? Do you go for the 50-50?
Flash ult?
Is that the most winning play here? Broken Blade goes for the calling. Spica over the wall. Baron goes over to Cloud9, but now what about the fight? Damage coming through, and DoubleLift grabs the kill onto Vulcan. Licorice stuck in the pit. No way out. Has to die as well. Double kill over to DoubleLift. As Nisqy stuck on the other end of the wall, uses the last caress, getting himself away. Teleports, backs I should say, coming through from Cloud9 as Nisqy tries to escape. He's in a 1 versus 2. He goes for some of the damage here onto Spica. Needs a little bit more, tries to buy time with the Zhonyas, but time is not for sale, my friend. Bjergsen is godlike. TSM kill 3 players from Cloud9. Blaber and Zven still have the Baron.
Oh, I need to watch this in slow-mo because Evelynn is actually amazing at stealing Barons, Flowers. If you put your charm on it first, you flash in, you get execute ult damage. He even got his Q damage there too. Smite goes down. Blaber gets the Smite as Licorice ults Spica into the back of the pit. He did not get to ult first. He did not get the ult combination damage that he was looking for there, because Licorice makes the heads-up play going for him, and Blaber lands the Smite. That saved what could have been even more devastating for Cloud9. On the back of it, even with TSM not getting the Smite steal, they still pick up all of these extra kills. Cloud9, they're wearing a few Barons right now. I believe 2 members survived with them, Zven being one.
Zven and Blaber have the purple, but nobody else from Cloud9 seems to be ready to use these buffs. Now, TSM, they've got the Ocean Soul. It's 3 minutes until the Elder Dragon. That could be the difference maker here for either side. Oftentimes we see a game end at Elder. Not too common that it goes very far past that point. TSM have played this comp well here once again, maneuvering around the fights properly. Bjergsen still 0 deaths, 24 pages in the Magi Soul Stealer. Absolute insanity from this man. Rabadon's death cap now completed too. Full build Bjergsen here on the Twisted Fate. This is just such a mountain to climb for Cloud9, dealing with Bjergsen when he's in the there is no way I'm going to lose type of form. TSM, Holy cow.
Cloud9, though, they have done it before in this game. They cannot give up in the face here. Still wearing Baron buff. They can buff up their own minions, is really good for defense, and look for these possible flanks. To make this comeback here, they've now got the level 16 Sylas death cap completed for Nisqy. Flash is all available as well. Let's see, Blaber with the spell shield from the Edge of Night as well on the Rek'Sai can look for that big stun onto Bjergsen.
Vulcan just lost 2/3 of his HP to a little bit of poke there. Redemption summoned up just to try to bring him back above half. Nisqy with the stolen Evelynn ulti, ready to use that one here too. Broken Blade on the retreat. Cloud9 having troubles initiating, getting any sort of a fight on their own terms because once again, the only way to do it is a flash from Licorice or an ulti landing from Vulcan. And the Bard ults have not been the god tier that they have to be to win Cloud9 these fights in the last couple of engages. Elder Dragon down to under 90 seconds before it spawns now.
They're definitely going to have their hands full here. Bjergsen with full damage build doesn't have a Zhonya's or anything to save him if Cloud9 can get onto him. And that is a 24 stack Medjai's Twisted Fate right there. So that should be a main target for C9. They get one flash with that Bard ultimate. DoubleLift did have to blow it. Blaber gets his spell shield proc though, so it's going to be more difficult for him to find that engage.
Zven going forward with the arcane shift. Fight might break all the way out here. Blaber trying to get away from the culling. Has to take the tunnel over the wall. Cloud9 jungler nearly killed off. Bjergsen coming around from the side. Cloud9, they've got no QSS left on Zven. He's flown up into the air. He's gone. It's a shutdown for DoubleLift. And Cloud9 is fully on the retreat now. The projectiles keep flying. Cloud9 keeps dying. Bjergsen leading the chase with the rest of TSM. They do not need an Elder Drake. They will push down the mid lane without it. 5 men strong. The inhibitor turret is the target. Broken Blade is the first one to the scene, and TSM will bulldoze through these structures. Nexus turrets in their sights. It's Nisqy, Vulcan, and Blaber in a 3v5 to hold the game and prevent the TSM win. Redemption summoned up, now going to be called down, but Nisqy's already out of the picture. Blaber into the back, but he won't do a thing. It's a double kill for Broken Blade, and TSM with nearly the same comp that they won game number 1 will take the game number 3 victory and bring us to match point.
The improvement from this team, Flowers, is so crazy to see in this game. TSM playing so many of these high damage compositions, relying so much on layering these key abilities, and them being able to do this versus Cloud9 that have dominated so much this year in the entirety of spring, in the beginning of summer. This is stacking up so nicely for our last world spot. I really still hope that we get all 5 and we get to go to a last game decider here with Silver Scrapes. That is going to require some more adjustments from Cloud9 because TSM continue to show these very offensive drafts here. Lucian solo lane trying to play off of that. The Senna extremely key for both of them. Both teams getting their wins with the Senna is going to cause a few ripples here as we move on to the next game.
Yeah, red side has also been slaying it. Will not be surprised to see if Cloud9 goes back to that on this game 4 draft that will be coming up. But right now, it's time for us to